do that a lot in my life is I think that I ask myself that question all the time, would I regret it? I will leave this earth knowing that I did great things, right? Having that purpose is huge. And I think a lot of people really get, you get to our age, later in life, and some people, they don't have purpose. And it's not a good situation, but I think you always have to be kind of looking out for yourself, right?
I think you've always had a very clear and strong mindset. I know that there were times when it was very hard and there were times when it was very scary, but you've said a couple of times here, even in this conversation this morning, you made a decision that you were going to be strong. You made a decision that you were going to be forward looking. You also listened to your intuition.
Reinvent yourself. You can do it. Once you're a parent, you learn so much about yourself. You have so many experiences. Reinvent yourself. I think you just need to give yourself the confidence that you know you can do it and tell yourself you can do it.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello, so good to be here with you again.
Great to see you as always, Atricia. And we have a special guest today. We're so excited about. We will get to her in a moment, but welcome back everyone to Living Richly with Curo. This is episode 93. My name is Ann McCabe. I am the CEO and a partner here at Curo Private Wealth. And I'm joined, as always, by my lovely partner, Atricia.
Spring is sprung, and I'm so excited about it. I'm like, give me all the brighter colors. It's been so cold.
Yes.
But hi, I'm Atricia Roberts, COO and partner here at Curo. Thanks so much for checking us out for the first time, if this is your first listen, or for coming back if you're a Living Richly OG.
We love you all. We appreciate you all. If you are new to the podcast, our mission here is to educate, inspire, and empower you and entertain you sometimes also on your financial journeys. And happy Women's History Month, everybody. It is still March, which is Women's History Month. And we thought it would be a wonderful way to celebrate by having our amazing client and friend, Kathleen Geneva, on the podcast today to talk about her incredible story and journey. So welcome, Kathleen. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here today on the podcast.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor and pleasure to be here. You have no idea. I've been looking forward to this for weeks, and I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We have been very excited too. So I am going to read your official bio, and then we have some questions prepared for you that we're very excited to talk through. We do like to try to keep the bio short so we can maximize the amount of time, but you have quite a bit to go over. So Kathleen Geneva is the CEO and franchise owner of Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, servicing Prince William, Fairfax, and Loudoun counties in Northern Virginia. A seasoned business leader and community builder, she has grown her franchise literally from the ground up, from absolutely zero, earning recognition, including a Make Your Mark Award nomination in 2025. And most recently, literally a couple of days ago, was recognized at Spherion's 80th anniversary with a Special Achievement Award for Excellence, the House of Mercy Business Partner of the Year Award in 2023. She serves on the Data Center and IT Security Council and the Prince William County Chamber Workforce Development Committee, underscoring her commitment to strengthening the region's talent ecosystem. A graduate of Randolph-Macon Women's College, Kathleen is also certified by the Emily Post Institute as a business etiquette trainer, bringing a unique people-first touch to her leadership approach. Beyond her business, Kathleen has two wonderful children, adult children at this point, who are thriving. And we are so excited to have you on, Kathleen. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we'll get started, and we'll start where we always do, and just ask you to tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. How did you find yourself where you are today?
Yeah, well, thank you. That's a great question. And, I thought a lot about my recent journey and, of course, my previous, wonderful life as a parent over the last like many, many years. My kids are in college now. So of course I have a lot of time to think about things. But so getting back into the previous industry that I was in, I was formerly in the staffing industry. So I actually fell into this entrepreneurial situation by accident. I was always thinking about going back to the former industry that I was in. I got married later in life, had children later in life. And so for a good 18 years, I was working in DC in the staffing industry, started in that business when it was not very sophisticated and really kind of learned kind of a craft. And so that's really where I learned the industry itself. But falling into the entrepreneurial situation with Spherion was really something that happened by accident when I felt like it was time to get back to my previous profession. It was something I knew well. It was something I was confident that I could do, even though I had been out of the workforce for a while because I had been kind of taking a little bit of a retirement when I decided to have children a little later in life. So that's kind of really how I started in this entrepreneurial venture and decided to start the Spherion franchise organization when I found that there was an availability in our market where I lived, which was really luck, to be honest. It was coming right out of COVID and was something that I really, really thought about it a long time and felt like it was really the smart thing to do. It could provide me with flexibility and I knew the market well. So I figured as an entrepreneur, I really knew the business market and I could really jump right in. At least I felt I could with just a little bit of training. So that's kind of how I started. In fact, I was in the parking lot at Harris Teeter and I Googled Spherion. I thought, wonder if I could go back. Wonder if they want somebody like me who had taken some time off. And I'm telling you, I made that first phone call and it changed my life forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to
Yeah.
disagree with one thing you said, Kathleen, which is the luck part, because I remember conversations we were having back when you were considering, and there was not any luck. It was a lot of hard work on your part and a lot
Mhm.
of thought. You were very, very thoughtful about making this decision. So just wanted to lovingly disagree with that one, the one luck comment.
Thank you. Well, I think it was just coming out of COVID too. So it was
Yeah,
very an unpredictable time and a risk.
it was
Um,
very scary.
mhm. But
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to give it a shot. I felt like if I didn't, I would regret it. So
Yes.
I do that a lot in my life is I think that I ask myself that question all the time, would I regret it? So,
Mm.
and I knew the company was incredible. Again, 80 years in business, amazing, smart people. They had systems, it's now 5, 6 years later, I would have to say, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
So let's rewind way back for a moment. Take us back to what your life was like when you were a stay-at-home mom before everything changed. And of course, we'll talk about your life now, but just paint us a picture of what that was like.
Life was beautiful. I loved my life back then. I loved being a mother. I had always wanted to be a mother. I took it as a very serious job. And because I got married later in life and had children later in life, I was grateful that I could stay home. My husband was an emergency physician. So weekends, holidays, on call. So it really made sense. We discussed that, I would stay home and really dive right into motherhood. And I am grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. It was fabulous. I was very involved in the community, very involved with their schools. I was always somewhere with them. I have 2 children, so they're about 3 years apart in age and grade. So I have a boy and a girl. So I was always dividing and conquering. And, oftentimes if he couldn't go with me, it was all about the community and friends. And it was amazing, amazing. I got up every day feeling grateful to have healthy children that were happy. And that was my goal, is to make sure that they had a great, happy life. I was very lucky to have that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, like some women do experience, you did suffer a loss when your husband passed, which I can only imagine is a completely life altering situation, especially when you describe the life that you were living, you were in love with. But if you don't mind, if you would just share a little bit with us about what the immediate reality of that looked like what things did you have to deal with or face that you had never experienced before?
Well, I think in the beginning, anytime you have loss or grief, it doesn't seem that it's real. And I think you need to get to that acceptance part. I knew that he was sick for a while. So we knew that he had a terminal illness. So I knew that he would not be living for a long time. So I had time to prepare in some ways, which was hard. It's painful when someone's slowly dying. But I was trying to prepare myself to be the best mom that I could be. And I wanted my children to have a great childhood. So I was determined to be happy, to be strong, and to give them a great life. And so I chose to be happy, and I chose to be strong, and I chose to be confident. And I knew that that was what my husband would want. He would want me to move along and continue our lives, keeping him in our spirit and talk about him all the time and laugh about the funny things he used to do. I felt like it was a healthy place, and my kids are doing great. And you always worry when someone loses a parent, like, gosh, what's going to happen? Are they going to fall apart? My kids they've taught me so much. They've taught me so much about how to be stronger. We've learned from each other. Now that I'm working, they love it. They said, Mom, we love that you're actually working. I have purpose now. I have purpose. And I think they're proud of me. I hope that they are, but I'm always a happy person. I try to keep myself going through life and being grateful. And I knew I had to do that. I had to be strong, even though we had this loss, even though we miss him, desperately. We miss him desperately.
Yeah. Yeah. But as you said, he's always here in spirit, and so proud of all three of you and what you've been able to do. So,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I've shared, I believe it was in our money story, our money journey episode early on in the Living Richly days, about my immediate reality after losing a parent. It's funny now, but I've shared the story about my trash can being repossessed because I didn't realize we were paying a separate bill for waste management.
Yeah.
So it's always one of those things, like you're processing the loss you're experiencing, but then, life keeps going and you have to sort of figure it out and push forward every day. And I was able to get my trash can back. So it's fine.
Well, good. That's great news. That's great news. Yeah. That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Little did you know about the trash can repo man.
Didn't know it.
So Kathleen, walk us a little bit through that pivot moment. You shared a little bit about how you decided to launch your business, but how about the pivot after your late husband passed, of even deciding that you wanted to go back to work? Because at this point, your kids were still at home. They weren't at college yet, and you still made the decision to go back to work and to start your business. So tell us a little bit about that thought process and what really made you decide that you wanted to do that at that point in your life.
Well, I had a lot of, significant events happening. 2019, my husband passed, my father passed, and then we had COVID. So I had a lot of time to think about where I needed to go and what I needed to do. And it was that parking lot moment. I sat in the car and I'm like, I've got to do something. I'm going to go back to my industry. I'm confident I can jump back in. I just need to do some learning, but I felt like it was time. I had the spirit for it. I felt like I could jump right in and make a difference. I could have the flexibility that I needed for my children. And also my son was just getting ready to apply to college. So I had a lot going on, but I feel like I couldn't let anything stop me anymore. My life was on hold for a long time. And I also, in 2014, started another franchise business. So while I was home with the kids, I did have another entrepreneurial venture that was true to my heart. And that was starting the National League of Junior Cotillions franchise business. That also gave me the confidence to be able to start another business because I knew kind of what I was going to get into. I knew that it would be demanding, although I knew that I had the confidence from my previous life to jump into an industry that I knew well. So having had work experience from home, starting a business from scratch again, I felt that gave me the confidence to just move into another industry, knowing that other one was really kind of running itself at that point. And I would still continue that business because giving back to the community means a lot to me. So once I jumped back into the staffing industry, it was really just a matter of time to get things organized. And I just moved forward. I moved forward with both businesses and they're running great today. And you can pretty much do anything you put your mind to. And that's what I told myself. Looking back, I'm going to move forward and I want to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. So I knew it would get me out. I could get dressed every day because for a long time, I didn't have to get dressed up. So I love being able to put on a new outfit and I love buying a new lipstick. That's my thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So looking forward to spring as well. And the ladies that work with me in my office, it's a powerhouse group of amazing women. And we are all there to support each other. And I want to make a difference in their lives as well. So I feel like, there's more to just starting a business and being successful. There's a lot that goes around that, making a difference in someone else's life professionally, getting them to the next level. I'm all about that. So really want to support other women and help them become the best version of themselves in the professional working world. And I think I have a great group and a great team right now to be able to do that. So it takes time, takes time.
Yeah.
And those people, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. Yeah.
A couple things really stand out, Kathleen, about your story. One is mindset. I think you've always had a very clear and strong mindset. I know that there were times when it was very hard and there were times when it was very scary. But you've said a couple of times here, even in this conversation this morning, you made a decision that you were going to be strong. You made a decision that you were going to be forward looking. You also listened to your intuition. You listened to that message inside of you that said, I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to contribute. My life has been on hold for a long time now. I'm ready to do something with all of my potential. So I think such an amazing message, even so far, is your mindset, making the choice, and listening to your gut, listening to yourself when you're ready to do something, ready to challenge yourself in a different way.
Absolutely. And, it really tests you from every part of your life, every angle, every part of you when you have to make tough decisions, right? And I always tell myself if I'm going to make a decision, I really want to, some people just, they look back, they don't look forward.
Mm-hmm.
If you look back for too long, it's not good. You second guess yourself and that type of thing. So I felt like, when you make big decisions to start businesses, you have a lot on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And it's reputation, it's time, it's money. And I feel like there were some times I didn't really know what I was doing. It's kind of like being a parent. Sometimes you're like, did I make the right decision today about, right?
Oh my
Or
gosh, every day.
right. And so even with the business, it's a learning experience. And I feel like, gosh, I would rather go through life like this, learning, admitting that maybe I didn't make the best decision, but knowing that I'm trying my best. And if I can make a difference in the world, in our community, helping people find jobs, with my students, helping them know why manners are important, and even with my own children and my own staff that work for me, gosh, I will leave this earth knowing that I did great things, right? Having that purpose is huge. And I think a lot of people, you get to our age later in life and some people, they don't have purpose. It's not a good situation, but I think you always have to be kind of looking out for yourself, right? Thinking about, okay, what do I need to be doing now for myself, especially as women, because we give so much in our lives to children, to family, caregiving, all of these things. And sometimes we just need to step back and say, gosh, what do I want? And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Hey, it's not a selfish thing. It's hard to do, though. Very hard to do.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, you're having this amazing journey kind of coming out of what are very traumatic experiences and turning them into such a wonderful life and career. What advice, what would you say to a woman in a similar situation who may have been at home focused on children and family and is now finding herself in a place where she wants to build something financially of her own?
Reinvent yourself. You can do it. Once you're a parent, you learn so much about yourself. You have so many experiences. Reinvent yourself. I think you just need to give yourself the confidence that you can do it and tell yourself you can do it, right? So I feel like you have to kind of be ready for anything if you decide to go back into the workforce. I see women every day in my work that come in for interviews that have had situations that are significant. Part of what I do in my job is to give them the confidence that they can get back into the workforce. So we try to talk a little bit about, slowly, what would you like to do? Volunteer maybe, do something part-time, but you need to dig down deep and find out what's your passion? Maybe go volunteer at the hospital, whatever it is that you think you may do. But I think there are a lot of women that are lost. So I'm a big cheerleader. I would say go try and reinvent yourself. But first of all, think about what you enjoy. Think about what you would love to do. And maybe just start out slowly. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I started very late in many parts of my life, having children, getting married, starting 2 businesses. And somebody at the meeting this weekend said, well, when are you going to retire? I said, never. I just continued to build. I think my kids will keep me young. These businesses will keep me young. And I don't want to miss anything. I'm too curious of a person. I don't want to miss anything. I live life like that. It's great to get out and about. You learn something. Like this weekend, I was in Baltimore, and it was so cool to be in Baltimore and to meet all my colleagues from around the United States. And then we won this award, and I was shocked that this recognition came to us. Shocked. My team was thrilled. I actually got to walk on the stage. Now, I never win anything. So this award that we received we were just beyond words. And it definitely shows you that hard work pays off. You can do it at any age. You don't
Mm,
really have to have anything but confidence. And we're all about reinvention. It's fun.
yeah.
And you can do it. You can definitely do it. Anybody can do it. So, yeah.
That's amazing. When you made the decision to go back to work, because again, your kids were still at home, did
Yep.
they give you any pushback at any point? I know they're really happy for you now and you've inspired them. But when they were still at home, was there ever any sort of like, oh, well, hey, mom's not around. She's, busting her butt trying to grow this business all of a sudden, which was very different for them because they were used to you being around. Did they give you any pushback? And if so, how would you advise other, moms who may be in a similar situation?
Absolutely not. My kids are super confident. My daughter said to me, Mom, I like you better like this. She said that to me. I like you better like this. I like that you're working. You love what you're doing. You're happier. They saw a different version of me. They had never seen that before. And I think they're still seeing that now. We're doing really well, meeting our goals, exceeding our goals. And I often will share some of the successes. My daughter is thinking of going more into the business world. And so I'll share some things, some milestones that we're hitting. And so they can see that this is like real. My mom, she's doing like a real
She's
thing.
doing like real big things.
They're very confident kids. They're very adaptable. I've always told them, they need to be responsible for their decisions, make good choices. Choices, manners, and behavior. Those are three things I've always told them that they need to think about. Maybe they were also used to the fact that, their father was gone many, many years out of the home before he passed. So we got used to being very independent as a family. And I would just love them through the things that they would go through as teenagers. That's what we do as parents. They're not jealous. They're not upset. They're excited for me. So I never experienced, and I still don't experience that. They're like, Mom, it's okay. But I will tell you, I went to every event. Sometimes I'd hit one and then go to the next. Or I would say to one kid, I can't go to your event. Is that okay? They're like, Mom, it's okay. So I put effort into everything that I did. And they always knew that I tried. I think they know that I love them dearly and I will do anything for them. So we have a good relationship. I'm very lucky, feel super grateful for that. Really do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we always love to finish when we have guests on the podcast with the same question. Obviously, the name of our podcast is Living Richly with Curo, and everybody has a slightly different definition of what living richly means. So we'd love to hear from you, Kathleen. What does living richly mean to you?
Well, I'm going to read it. It's a very simple statement.
Okay.
It is a feeling of being alive with things that truly matter, family, good health, having purpose, and fun along life's journey.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Because you know
Wow.
what? We have to give ourselves permission to have fun. And I think as adults, when we're responsible so much for everything and everyone, we forget to give ourselves permission to have fun. And as I age and, go through this next chapter of my life, I want to have a little fun.
Mm.
I do. I want to laugh more. I want to have more fun. Yeah.
You deserve to have fun for sure. We all
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And that's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So, Kathleen, if any of our listeners or viewers are interested in connecting with you, interested in learning more about your business, what is the best way for them to reach out or find out more?
Thank you. We are located in the Northern Virginia area. Spherion.com is a very large organization, but certainly you can look me up on LinkedIn under Kathleen Geneva. I am local to the Haymarket, Gainesville area more specifically, but would love to chat. Certainly an email, KathleenGeneva@Spherion.com would be a great option just for the initial outreach.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so
I
much
know.
for being so open and honest and giving us little jewels that we can take and also share with our listeners. It's been a wonderful conversation. I hope you enjoyed being here with us.
I actually did. I was very nervous and I'll be very transparent. I've never done anything like this before. I'm always the kind of person I like to try new things. And as a business owner, you have to be vulnerable. I admire both of you very much. And it's been great seeing you over the years. And you are my inspiration. Other business women are my inspiration. So I feel really honored that you thought to include me in your podcast series. So I look forward to sharing this with people and sharing that, you all have included me in this group. Last weekend I was included by my company. I didn't feel as invisible anymore as a business owner. I was proving now that I could be part of the club. And I think for a long time, I wasn't quite sure I would be accepted in this industry or accepted as an entrepreneur because maybe I wasn't successful enough or big enough. But I'm truly feeling after the last 5 years that I'm proving that, if you work hard, things do pay off and the satisfaction comes, and then you can be part of those clubs, other business women's groups, be part of awards, nobody gives us a pat on our back, right? So when you get an award, it's kind of a big thing, like you're being recognized. And I think at the end of the day, truly, it's about family and about, good health. It really is. And I feel so great to be a part of your organization and know you as people. And thank you for including me. And I really appreciate you thinking to consider having me on board here. So,
Oh
thanks
my
a million.
gosh, of
Yeah.
course. You are such an inspiration. I literally got goosebumps a few times as you were talking, and we are both honored to be part
Yes.
of your journey and honored, obviously, that you would take some of your precious time to share here and be so open and vulnerable. And I am 100% confident that you will inspire many, many women who listen to this and watch this, that they can do amazing things just like you have. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for coming on.
Thank you.
And for being part of our lives. And thanks everybody for tuning in for another episode of Living Richly with Curo. We will see you again in a couple of weeks. And until next time,
Live richly.
thanks again for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Friendly reminder that this is for informational purposes only. For additional information, please visit us at www.curoprivatewealth.com. Until next time, live richly.